You can start planning out your questions.
Go to the very top slide. Hello? Oh, is it working? What? I don't think I have any videos. Okay. Okay, I'm also working on the Burmese python, but what I was trying to figure out is how is the Burmese python affecting biodiversity in the Everglades? Okay, wow. This is me and Jimmy. It's not working again. Oh. Hi, next year, kiddos. We're talking to that. Thank you. Awesome. Sauce. All right. So, before going to how it affects it, I want to tell you a little bit about the Burmese python. The Burmese python can be up to 22 feet long in length. And this is just a picture to give you a more accurate description of it. They're not only long, but they also have many, many babies in reference because they have literally 100 babies. Just one mama snake will have 100 eggs in either the month of March or April. They're not only long and big and have a lot of them, but they also eat an entire animal entirely with their jaws because they can pop them out and then eat it. And they're not only, they can also live up to 30 years at the lowest, and there's been studies that show that they can live much longer. Why should you care? The Burmese python is the case of many deaths, like they said. I mean, I don't like referencing theirs, but they kill animals like beavers, possums, raccoons, little animals, dogs, cats, mice, etc. They've also been known to kill kids in their sleep. This is affecting the biodiversity because whenever they kill something, and because they're killing so much, it's affecting other things. So everything that eats those smaller animals that the Burmese python's eating out and just taking them all out, everything else above them is also dying, including the Burmese python. So it's also in a way killing its own self. But if you keep on looking at it from that way, we will have no other animals in the Everglades, and this will destroy many ecosystems, and it'll destroy the many people that live around the Everglades. The Burmese python, it goes into water streams, and whenever it does this, it's preventing other animals from getting water that they need. So it comes up, it'll eat the animal, and it'll go back into the water. And which water is an ecosystem service, so it is preventing them. Here in this picture, you can see a Burmese python pretty well hidden in the grass. And what it does, another way of doing it, it takes its own territory. And whenever anyone passes by it, it will kill it, including humans. Which, because they kill a lot of animals, the only thing that's really growing in the Everglades is like crops and stuff. So literally a lot of the ecosystem will be pretty much full of just plants and nothing else but that. Now this is the really bad stuff. I say warning because some of you all might not want to see the pictures. And these are real images. That's not as bad, but... What? Just to forewarn you, they're not dead. They're just measuring how long it is. Yeah, it's killing wildlife, it kills crops, it kills the things that's helping out that wildlife, and it's just a disaster to the ecosystem. Now, how do we stop them? Now, scientists have been working on this idea for some time now, and these are some of the solutions that they have. The first one is that they've got what they call the I've got one. And what basically happens is that in Florida, whenever they see a Burmese python on their land, they will call up the I've got one, and then they'll come, they'll pick it up, they'll either take it to a confined area, but if it can't be controlled, or the only way that they can stop it is by killing it, then they will do that. This is another one. In this one, they had a competition. And the competition was basically, they took a bunch of hunters, and there was hunters from Georgia, they took them, even some from Kentucky came down, and of course Florida. They came down to this competition where they had to go kill as many pythons as they could. It failed because all they could catch is 68 pythons. But of course the reasoning for why they did it was because there was a cash prize. This picture, you can see a dog. They used dogs to kill the pythons. But what happened is that animal association rights came in, and the dogs were actually doing well. They were killing the pythons. They found them well, they killed them, they took them out, and that was the end of them. They were taking out pretty good numbers of them until the animal association saw that there was like over 30 dogs that had died on the job, pretty much. So they were like, no, you can't keep on using dogs. Another one, this is the traps. The animal nuisance, nuisance animal removal group, they created a trap. And of course, it's a big group, a big association, so they had lots of money. But they weren't getting any of money. So they were losing money, and there was no major anything from it. And they didn't know what to do with the snake after it's dead. Or, because they trapped it, but then what? They kill it, but there's still thousands more. So they were losing so much money just by buying these traps, which cost around $100 just to buy a really decent one. So this is the really bad, these are the bad news about the solutions. The cell phone number, not a lot of people knew the number, not a lot of people even knew about the company. And the second one, like I said before, they only caught 68 of them. And a lot of the hunters were like, nah, I can't keep on going with this. This is getting too stressful. And even people were getting hurt on the job. Once again, animal cruelty rights came in. And then the traps. Okay, so my solution. I wanted to make something cheap, effective. I wanted to make something so that way it would kill them and it'd do it effectively. So, and I kind of looked into it and I found that there was a 3-week snowstorm that happened in Florida. And it killed more than half of the entire Burmese python population in just 3 weeks. So, I started thinking, I was like, what is something that you could use to freeze out them? Of course, you can't control the weather and cause a big hailstorm to come down and kill all the Burmese pythons. But we do have something called cold spray. If you don't know what cold spray is, it's a medicine that you use, and if you have warts or blisters or something like that, you spray it on there and it'll like literally get rid of them. So I thought if you took just pretty much thousands of RC cars, because RC cars, if you want a really nice, pretty one, I guess, you could get them for $20. You can get really cheap ones, though, for like $3. I did look that up on Amazon, by the way. And so, if you take the cold spray, which costs about $13.19, and if you put, by the way, look that one up as well, if you put these cold sprays on like the sides of the RC car, and then just pushed it forward into a nest of Burmese pythons. Because the Burmese pythons usually stay inside a big nest of Burmese. They don't usually, they're not usually on their own. They're usually with each other in a big kind of pack, I guess. So yeah, spray them on, put rubber bands around like the nozzle. That way they just keep on spraying. And once again, rubber bands are cheap, but the medicine thing was cheap, and the RC car. Now, Here's the question. How do we get our money? Simple. Their skin. It's the most simplistic thing. Their skin is so valuable that we use it for clothing, we use it for shoes, we use it for dresses. People love their skin and stuff. So, and I actually looked it up as well, that they can go up, if it's a bad thing of skin, you can get it for $800 to $3,000. And they only spend about like, what is it? Let me do the math here, about $50 to buy a couple of those things. And here they got like maybe $900, like that. So this, of course, attracts business owners. They're willing to pay money, like $50, just to get an RC car and some rubber bands and some cold spray, put it onto an RC car and drive it right in there and freeze them up, kill them, and that's it. But if you don't see why the Everglades are important, just look at some of these photos. The Everglades is so beautiful. It's a pretty place. It's got lakes, waterfalls, trees. It'd be a shame for it to go dying just because we don't have the want to go and help it. And that brings me to my end. Hope you enjoyed it and help stop the Everglades. Yay! Yes.
While she's talking, keep in mind, you don't have a question, you should be filling out your response. Last group, I only had Alyssa, Haley, Rosa, Andrew, Eric, Destiny, and Jody responding. Keep in mind, I'm grading on this. So a lot of you guys didn't respond to the first one, now you're a little bit behind, you gotta do the second one as well.
Yes.
If you were to take like the cars in there with the spray and stuff, wouldn't they like hear it coming?
Well, that's the thing. If you had a bunch of them, which I've already said they're very cheap, you could literally corner them in. And the thing is about the Burmese python, they have an instinct. They actually make a route that they run away from. But the thing is that if you send them in from all different directions, they don't have any way of escaping. And they usually like to dig themselves down into like a big hole of some sort, or into like some type of pit, and that way they can wrap themselves up.
How would you find them if you were to do that?
Because their holes are very big.
Because they're there to hide it. Like, if you were to take the car.
But they don't usually they don't dig a big hole and then stay inside of it. They dig a big pit and then stay inside of it. So it's pretty easy to find them. They hide, but they don't really hide like, I guess like how they said. But I mean, they more of just like curve around trees or something, and then they try and stay away from them. They more of run.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those questions.
Justin?
Do they lay their eggs in the same pit that they stay in?
Yes. Jody?
If you use the cold spray, and it's supposed to freeze them, wouldn't that mess up the skin?
That was something I forgot to mention. But they do wrinkle and crack, and that's more of a rare thing. But most of the time, there will be some part of the snake that does not fully crack or freeze over. It is usually like the head that usually gets like frozen, or the bottom of the tail. Because
So wouldn't that mess up just if it's just like, I don't know.
But still, like, you have thousands of snakes, and you're getting thousands of skins. Maybe, so what, you're not getting this really long one. You're still getting something.
Yeah, but you were saying that the whole skin was this amount of money. So, but if you take just a little piece, that would lessen the amount of money that you get.
Yeah.
You got a good point. I'll put that down here, your review, right? So, if you find a weakness, and you think it's a weakness, go ahead and do it. But raise the question and then no argue back.
Nancy?
Have you ever seen them?
What?
You said we got to spray, cold spray on them and this will kill them. But have you ever seen them? How people know that you can kill them by cold spray?
I have seen a Burmese python. I've owned a Burmese python, because I had one as a pet one time.
Okay, so how people can know about that?
What?
How people can know about that spray that you can kill them by that using that cold spray?
Yeah, the storm that they had. And then they did tests, and I looked at some things about the snake, and it's literally used to only warm temperatures. So if anything gets merely close to coldness, then they start freezing.
But my question is, how can you tell others about that?
How can I wait? What?
How can you tell others Like, how people will know about your solution?
I bring it to them, and I ask them.
Something to think about. We got a little on time.
Okay, Dominic.
Okay, so I get the idea with the cold spray, but a python's a python, and that's in floor. That's a hot place,
Yeah.
and you're planning on trying to freeze a python.
Have you ever seen cold spray or felt it?
Yeah, I have. But anyways, you would need a ton of cold spray to freeze those,
But it's very cheap.
especially a Burmese python.
It's very inexpensive, though.
Yeah, but that much cold spray? That
Yeah.
adds on to $50.
Still, I mean, you get. Oh, okay.
Alright, put it onto the whatever, form. Last one, we gotta go, we're out of time.
So, you've got a 20-foot Burmese python. Wouldn't the little RC crust, like, I know you can buy bigger ones and stuff,
Yeah.
but wouldn't the snake just be able to either, like, wanted to swallow the RC crust
Why would he-
or just, like, go
but-
over them?
That would actually help us because if it swallowed it, then that means it'd freeze its insides, and that means we'd have the entire skin.
But then you can't operate it.
Yeah, you can. You can operate an RC car.
Not inside the belly of a python.
No, but it'd still be freezing stuff.
Fair point. Think about it, write it down, move on.
What?
Cool.
Oh yeah, my sources.
Nice, nice. That's the end, I take it?
Yeah, and that's where I used them in all my different
Sweet,
slides.
so you can,
Oh,
hit the red button on the side.
oh, press the red button.